you probably struggle with never being able to sustain a standard for yourself. And that standard is an expectation that you have for yourself. We live our life in shoulds, and because we think that other people can do something, we should be able to do it. But that's not always the case. And I think that we need to be a little bit more forgiving of ourselves. So I do have some pointers for you. One thing is, when we're setting expectations, we want to make sure that they're realistic. So let's take Nico's example of meditation. He mentioned that he tries to meditate. If you're trying to meditate and your goal is to meditate for an hour a day straight out of the gate, that is not a realistic expectation. You are then setting yourself up for failure. My theory about these unattainable expectations that we tend to set for ourselves, I think that they are in direct correlation to how we see ourselves. If we see ourselves as a failure, then chances are we are probably subconsciously finding reasons to provide evidence to that extent. So if I am going to tell myself I'm going to do an hour a day for an entire week of meditation when I have never even tried it at all, then I'm certainly going to fail. And then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It comes true. Yep, I can't do what I said I was going to do. I can't live up to these high expectations. Look, everybody, I am a failure. I don't know if you've ever tried to meditate, but I have, and I continually try to meditate because I think that it is really awesome to calm the mind and body and just kind of recenter ourselves and reground ourselves. But I can't do it for very long. I have this app called Breathe, which I really like because it starts out with, you can just do for 3 minutes. And 3 minutes is a long time when you're trying to not think and you're trying to just kind of be. It's very difficult. And if you struggle with anxiety, your thoughts are always moving. They're always racing. So shutting that down for 3 minutes is hard. Trying to shut that down for a full 60 minutes is completely unrealistic, and you are certainly going to fail. Same thing for exercise. If you think that you're going to just walk out the door and run a marathon, you're probably not going to succeed. And if you do, you are going to be hurting later on. So let's be a little bit more realistic, okay? Let's be kind to ourselves. If you have a goal, ask yourself, is this something that is realistic for me? If it is not, then take some steps backward so that you can then write down all the things that you need to do to get to your goal. So for instance, if your goal is to run a marathon, you probably first need to be able to run a mile, right? So you can set up a schedule for yourself so that you can reach that goal. There's a visual. The visual is meant to describe what privilege looks like, and it really does a great job of doing that, but I can actually use it for this example as well. It is of 3 cartoon little boys, and they are looking over a fence. And if you are on the side of the fence that they're looking over, it looks like they're all the same height. But if you go to the other side, you'll notice that one boy is just really tall, another boy is standing on a milk crate, and the third one standing on 3 milk crates. I really think that that drives home the point that not everybody can just stand on solid ground and be able to look over the fence. Some people need a little bit more assistance. Some people need 3 milk crates. Think about that in your own life. Just because your friends can meditate for an hour, just because your friends have no trouble going into, a clothing store and returning items, just because your friends have no problem going to a social event and not feeling completely like they want to jump out of their skin, does not mean that you have to set that same expectation for yourself. You are unique. You have your own beautiful qualities and you have your own challenges. It's really, really important to think about that when you're thinking about setting expectations. So that's the first thing. Set realistic expectations.